I'm Paul Llewellyn, and welcome to Rainmakers, where we share stories of those making a difference in their communities. On today's show, we are excited to welcome Judy Webb, a dedicated leader and volunteer representing the Kindness Hub food and clothing pantry program at Church in the Valley in Langley, BC. She brings an inspiring perspective on community service, sharing heartfelt stories of resilience and generosity that highlight the true power of giving. Welcome to Rainmakers, Judy. It's a pleasure to have you on our show today.
Well, thank you very much for having me here, representing the acts of kindness in the Church in the Valley in Langley, BC.
Tell me more about the Food Pantry project and your role within it.
The acts of kindness have been with it for several years now, and it's changed dramatically, especially after COVID. What we do is we provide food, clothing, and some essentials to the clients that are in need. And we do qualify the clients so we know that they are entitled to receive it. We have approximately 65 families that come every week, a total of 220 people. And we're really noted for our produce. We have lots of produce for them to have. We also have meat. We have all the other essentials that they need, including diapers for the babies. And we're really proud of the work that we do.
How did the Food Pantry program start, and what motivated you to get involved in it?
Well, we had started it before COVID, and it was where we were making meals and handing out hampers to people. But during COVID, it changed, and now what we do is we have people come in and they can do their own shopping. We don't allow them to touch anything, and we fill up boxes for them. And they go through the lineup, and they go home sometimes with 2 or 3 banana boxes full of food. And it's just incredible. We're really proud of what we do. I started a few years ago when a friend of mine, we went for lunch, and she told me about the acts of kindness, and I wanted to do something like that, and I've been hooked ever since. I worked 32 years in a financial institution, and by that institution, when I retired, if we worked 40 hours a year, then they gave us $650 towards the acts of kindness. So there's a few of us there that are with the financial institution, and we're getting between $2,000 and $3,000 a year just for being there. So it's quite exciting that we can do that.
So, who are the volunteers that help make this project successful?
There's 3 of us that are team leaders, Cindy, Brenda, and myself. And we do all the organization. We have all the volunteers. We do all the pickups between all of us, because a lot of our volunteers that we have in-house are in their late 70s, and a lot of them can't lift. So we need people that can lift and do a lot of our heavy work. And we have outside drivers. We have somebody that picks up cucumbers and peppers for us. We have other ones that go and pick up different things. Like there's another food bank that's on Tuesday, and they give us their leftovers. We have somebody picking that up. We have a farm last week that it's quite funny because they had given us some kale before, and we really liked it. And they gave it to us again, and they said, "Are you sure you want it?" And I said, "Yes, we do." Some organizations said no. Well, when you start saying no to these people, they're not going to go to you. So for Thanksgiving, she asked me if I needed anything. I said, "Sure." 700 pounds she brought. Can you imagine? We were just, couldn't believe it. We had everything there was. There was turnips and carrots and potatoes and you name it, squash, everything, pumpkins. And then we had another supplier that he pursued me, and I've been after that company for 2 or 3 years. And I had actually met him at the church when I was doing some Sunday work when another organization, another church had rented the premises, and he came up and he says, what are you doing? And I told him, and he says, could I see your deep freeze? And I thought, okay. So I showed him the deep freeze, and he says, do you have more deep freezes? And I said, yes. So he told me who he was, and he's a turkey farmer. Last week, he gave us 65 turkey breasts and a whole bunch of sausages. The back of my car was just filled up, and that was a donation for Thanksgiving. So, I mean, that's just incredible when people do that. When they see what we're doing, then they give us more products. We have around, I'd say, 15 volunteers that are inside, but I just did a count the other day, and with the outside people and everybody picking things up for us, there is about 60 volunteers. It's a big operation because we go to the grocery stores. If there's a pickup, like today, I had an emergency pickup. Somebody didn't have enough freezer space. I had to go pick it up and put it in our freezers. So we never know when we're getting a call. And there's 3 leaders, and basically, I don't know, we're running, it seems, that 6 days a week trying to get everything organized for our clients.
Judy, can you walk us through what a typical week looks like for you and the volunteers in this project?
So on Sundays, we have uh, pickups at Safeway, and there's 2 of us that go there. And then we have another pickup at Save on Foods, and then we take it to the church, and we make sure that everything is all sorted. We've got to put the produce in the refrigerator. We've got to make sure that we freeze the bread, we freeze the meat, we put the dairy in the fridges. And on Monday, we have another big pickup that we do from No Frills. And that's approximately about, I'd say, 150 to 170 pounds. Wednesday, we have the food bank. Thursday, we still have pickups, Friday and Saturday. We're doing pickups all over all the time. And there's a program called Second Harvest. And it's an app that's on our phone. And it's for every charity all across the Lower Mainland. And all the restaurants and the stores put their produce on that they don't need. And you have to ping into it. And if you get it, then it's yours. So Cindy and I both have the app on, and we're after that. For instance, on Sunday it was, I picked up 360 pounds of produce in my vehicle. I had 22 cases, and that's just one place. And then another grocery store let us know that they had a pallet, and that was picked up yesterday. So we never know, because what happens with us, we're so good at what we do that when somebody says it's there, we're there to pick it up. Other organizations will leave it for a day or 2, and they don't want that. They want it out of their store because they need the room. So we're very blessed with all the pickups that we have.
Can you describe the types of people you serve at the food pantry?
Well, first of all, we have a financial component. They have to be qualified. We don't go into all their personal business. We just need the notice of assessment. And if they qualify under the guidelines that's for federally, then we say, yes, they can come. We add 25% on. So we know what each family can have, and that's how we qualify them. So it's mostly by qualification. We have a lot of seniors. We have a lot of single moms, families in need. There's a place called Ishtar Transition House, and they're sending us their battered women for things, which is really nice. Who else do we have? Just about, like I say, you name it. We've got every culture there is. We have people that can actually, a lot of Spanish people, a lot of Mexican people, and we have people that speak Spanish in there to help them through the process, which is really good. So makes them feel comfortable when they come in, especially if they don't speak English. So we have like a variety of people. We've got everybody. We don't turn people away.
So, Judy, one of the questions I like to ask is, can you share a story of a person or family whose life was changed through your work with the food pantry?
Well, the first one is my Mexican family. They were recommended by a church member to come in. It took them 2 months I waited after Sabbath one day for them. They didn't show up. So when they did show up, I said, I've been waiting 2 months for you. He gave me all the information. They had 4 boys, and they finally had their little girl. They do not get any funding from the government. They do not get the child tax credit. He's just working for jobs he can to put food on the table. So what we've done with them is we've made up hampers for them, and he actually has been helping me with a lot of the pickups, if you can believe that, on top of everything, because we've helped him so much. We have New Balance shoes that come in. I've given shoes to the family. We've had diapers, and I save the sizes for them to help them out with that. And what happens on a Sunday, if we have any produce or anything that's left that we can't keep until Wednesday, it's at its last time, I give it to them, and bread and anything that we can't keep. And in fact, what they do is they make up 4 or 5 hampers for families that can't come in on a Wednesday. There's the other kids that come in from Inclusion Langley, and there's 3 of them that come in with a supervisor. And they're just the greatest kids ever. So what happened was I asked if one of the pastors if I could get some extra vest to put on them. And the one fellow, it was funny. I said, you have to leave them here. The boy took it home and brought it back the next time. He's nonverbal. And I looked at him. I said, you wanted to show your mom and dad? They said, yes. So he was really excited because they're included. And we're having a volunteer Christmas party in November. And I asked them, and they couldn't believe that they were invited and included. You know, and they do a good job. They don't stay when we're open, but they help us put all the products in line, take the bread out of the deep freeze, and it's really nice to see them. The battered women, we've got a few of them, and if somebody's donating a crib or donating a stroller, we keep those aside for them. We don't put them outside. We have a bench outside, so if we get any donated clothes, we actually put them outside in a bench, and anything that we have that people can use, it's first come, first serve, and they usually come about 3 hours early just to see what we have to put out. We got a call about 2 weeks ago. There was a warehouse in Surrey that was downsizing, and they had stuff to give us. I had a friend that I had to call. The 2 of us made 2 trips there, filling up our vehicles, and I had to make a 3rd trip. We got brand new clothing that was donated from size 0 to about 7 for girls, and we probably got 2 carloads of brand new shoes. So we had it, and it was like a shoe store. We had them all by size, and we had some of the people standing there to hand out to them. They got all brand new shoes, and they were entitled to 1 pair for every member of the family. And then the next week, the ones that were left over, if they fit you, you just took them.
Wow, I love hearing those stories. So now, is there one story from your time at the food pantry that truly stands out amongst all the rest?
Oh, yeah, there's a single mom that came in, and their daughter was abused by the dad. They haven't seen the dad for 2 years, and she came in quite shy. And we've helped her through it. We've told her through the church that there's programs there that she can join up in. There's boundaries. We have Aspire for the kids. We have the single moms group. So we try to tell them all the things that we have there to help them. And she has been participating. And if you saw her now, you wouldn't believe it. She's strong when she's come in. And she's downsizing because she has to move. And she was selling it on Marketplace. Instead of doing that, she was bringing all the stuff in for us because we helped her so much. So they like to give back when you help them. But again, it's my Mexican family, I think, that really, really stands out in my mind because they were there. And last week I was by myself, and I had 3 carloads and a truck full of stuff. I couldn't manage it myself. He brought his wife and the 4 boys, and they all helped me in the church. And I think that's wonderful when they can do that, because it also teaches the kids that you just don't get stuff given to you. You see how it's given to you. And it really makes a difference because they could help. And the one boy, he's 12. He is so good. He lines everything up like it's in a store. You wouldn't believe. And he's really proud of what he does. So it's a family participation. And it's nice to hear their stories too, because when you don't have a lot, we had a bunch of submarine sandwiches, big ones from one of the suppliers, and they must have been at least a foot long. So I had three or four of them, and I had a couple platters of cut up apples and another platter of fruit and vegetables, and it wouldn't keep till Wednesday. He tells me afterwards they went out to Fort Langley with the kids and two or three other families, and they had a picnic. They just took a couple balls, the kids played, they had everything supplied. The family, my Mexican family, have a little girl, and she's 9 months old, and they needed a car seat. And they went and looked, and it was $200. They didn't have the money. And there's this organization that gives us stuff every week, and they get mostly food, but they sent a brand new car seat. And I thought, okay. She couldn't believe it, that everything that she's needed seems to come. And then we had another thing where we had a bunch of clothes that an organization came in, and it was next door. And there were so many people coming in. My family's got nothing. And I felt kind of bad. And then the next week, somebody phoned from the church, and they had a whole bunch of stuff in hangers in their garage. It looked like a store, and asked me if I knew anybody that wanted it. And I sent my family over, and they took a whole bunch of stuff for their boys. And they were so happy. There was a 13-year-old son involved, and he had all the stuff from age 3 up. And then what happened was the lady afterwards brought all the stuff in for the rest of our families. And it was funny because this one lady had tried every organization and nobody would take it until she came to us. So, things like that, when we don't say no to people, it gets around. And I think that's why we're so successful. And we had another one. This is a sad story. Just a young mom with two kids, and the husband got killed by a bus. He was on a motorcycle, and we helped her through an awful lot. So when they come in with the kids, everybody pays attention to them. We had some toys, and they talk to all the people. And now when they come in, it's been a year, you can just see the difference in the kids and how they grow. And then the thing of it too is that she was coming in later in the day, so she couldn't get all the fresh product. So in cases like that, we made up a nice hamper so that they could have all the fruit and vegetables ahead of time. So we try to do our best for all the families. And again, most of them they are like family. They're not just a client that comes in. It has to be, because a lot of them feel that you don't have to be begging coming in for food. They want to feel that it's an experience for them. And a lot of times we get stuff from Starbucks, and the kids will come in and get little cake pops just like they do cookies at a grocery store. And we try to do everything we can. In the summertime, we give them popsicles out there, or ice cream. And it's just an approach that, again, I don't think anybody feels uncomfortable coming in. It's a safe place for everyone.
Tell me, Judy, what are some of the challenges you faced in your volunteer work, and how have you and your team overcome them?
Well, one of the challenges we have is short staff for drivers. And we still haven't solved that problem. We try to get people, but it's hard because people, when they do, um, like if there's a Christmas party and it's Christmas for the kids, everybody will volunteer. You get lots of them. Um, they have like a single mom's oil change, and they'll get lots of people there. But the people do a one-time commitment. It's hard to get anybody that does more than a one-time commitment. You need people that can commit to the long term. And it is very hard because it's on a Wednesday. We have a lot of people picking up during the week, but like for some of us, we haven't had a day off for a long time because of that. And they've been advertising, they've been asking. And it was so bad this summer that I had to have uh, one of my families help me, and I had a next door neighbor fellow help me. Uh, because a lot of these people, you just can't, they can't lift. They can't lift 50 pounds. And and you have to have a big enough vehicle. So there's a few boundaries there that have to be, but seem to be okay with the staff that's inside. We have enough to manage that every week, and that's also important. It's mostly getting the volunteers. And again, you always have little issues, but I think most of them are simple little things that can be overcome. You know, um, The clients out there are usually pretty good, but sometimes it's like theater tickets, I guess, going to a show. Somebody tries to bump in front of the other person, and there's little issues that way. But otherwise, there really hasn't been really problems like that.
Wow, wow. God is good. Can you describe a moment during your work when you felt a strong sense of God's presence?
I don't even know if there was a moment. It's just, it's hard to explain the feeling that you have when you help others. You get back more than what you're giving. Like take that family that's I'm really close to is that Mexican family. They're so grateful, but I'm grateful that I'm helping them out. And I think that's with all our leaders too, that we're doing it because of what we get back is the gratitude and seeing people there. And every time the door opens, it's every dime. It's just not one special moment. And if it wasn't, I don't think that we would be there and do it because it is a lot of dedication.
Wow, Judy, that's really wonderful to hear. So Judy, tell me, why do you do what you do with such dedication?
Well, I guess I'm retired. I've always wanted, years ago, I thought if I went down to Union Gospel downtown Vancouver and helped them serve a meal, that would be good. But it never happened. And when I had lunch with my friend and the acts of kindness came up, that fulfilled me. I need something in my life that will, I guess, fulfill me, that I've got something to do and I've got a purpose. If I didn't have that, I really truly don't know what I would do. And it's a good thing too, because when we go to the stores, we have to represent ourselves and we have to do it properly. We can't say, oh gosh, here, this and that and the other thing. We always talk to them and thank them very much for everything. And I think that's one of the main things you do is thank your suppliers. Have people come in and see what we do, and then they know what we do. And a perfect example of that is the CN pensioners. They rent the premises, the church there for their uh, meetings. I think it's once a month, and they were giving to different organizations. And after they've seen what we've done, they've given to us 100%. They've made blankets to give to night shift. They've given cash donations. They've given food for our pantry. They've given so many things to us just because they see what we're doing. And when everybody sees what you're doing, it's just not a food bank. It's a lot of work behind that. It's just not a semi-trailer truck coming in and dumping it all off. It's all these people bringing this in and trying to make a go of it. That's what drives me. But I guess what happens if we're not getting the produce and that, then we start to worry, like, how are we going to do this? How are we going to make it? It's like a full-time job, but also a fulfilling one.
I have one more question here. What do you envision for the future of the Kindness Hub and Food Pantry?
Well, we don't have space to grow. As long as it continues and we maintain what we've got, I think we're happy with that. We've used to have a lot more clients, but then we put in the dollar qualification, and that put a lot of them so that they weren't qualified to come, because we really want to help the people that need it. So we want to have room so that if people come through the door, for example, when I went in the church today, there was a young lady who left a message for me to call her. And I did. And there was a circumstance, and I told her just to bring in her notice of assessment, and we'll feed the family tomorrow. So we have to have room for cases like that. We don't want to say, hey, we're full, and send people away when they're needy, because that's not a thing we do. And the same thing, if we close at 4:30 at night and there's people still waiting or somebody comes late, we always make sure that we make a hamper up or do something for them. You have to, because if not, then you watch them go away and you think they've driven all that way and they're not getting anything. And we don't want to be known for that.
So, Judy, I want to give you an opportunity to pose this question. What would you say to your viewers who may be touched by your story today?
Just try volunteering once in a while, giving somebody a helping hand, because you'll find that The enjoyment that you get is incredible. There's nothing that can replace that happiness when you see the smile on the people's faces and see them going out with food for their families. Um, and it doesn't matter what organization that you volunteer for, everybody needs a little bit of help.
Thank you for interviewing for Rainmakers, Judy. It was an inspiring story. Have you been moved by this impactful story and feel inspired to help us continue bringing these impactful moments to life? Your support is essential for us to keep showcasing volunteers making a difference. If you'd like to contribute to the production of Hope Channel Canada and its ministries, it's simple. Visit agentsofhope.ca, where you'll find various ways to donate. You can do it by debit, credit, Google Pay, Apple Pay, or send an e-transfer to Agents of Hope at hopetv.ca. Prefer mailing a check? Send it to Hope Channel at 1148 King Street East, Oshawa, Ontario, L1H1H8. For a more personal connection, call us at 1-855-4-HOPE-TV. That's 1-855-446-7388. And don't forget to subscribe to the YouTube channel, Hope Channel Canada, and click the notification bell so you never miss an episode. You can also watch the show on multiple platforms, hopetv.ca, cable TV, the Roku app, and the Hope Channel app. Are you looking for answers to life's most profound questions? Hope Study provides free online Bible courses that cover essential topics such as faith, love, hope, and discovering your purpose, all at your own pace and from the comfort of your own home. One of our standout courses is Why is there pain and suffering in this life? This tackles one of those life's toughest questions and offers hope along with biblical insight. This study is designed to help you find meaning and understanding during challenging times. Signing up is easy and completely free at hopestudy.ca. Begin your journey today and feel free to share these valuable resources with anyone else seeking answers. Uncover life's answers. Visit hopestudy.ca and start your journey today.